here today for Lawnfawn and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a Christmas card to share with you all. I'm going to be using the Yeti or Not stamp set, and I'm just going to use one of the little Yetis and dress him up like he's snowboarding, and I'm also going to use some of the trees and the treats to help set the scene as well. I'm going to use Open Me for this little sign just because I thought that would be super cute. And I'm also going to use Winter Big Scripty words for one of the large sentiments. I do end up going with Be Merry just because I felt like that fit the best. I'm going to be creating an easel card today, and I'm actually going to be adding in a slider element to it. I thought this would be super fun and fit in with the theme of like the snowboarding Yeti. So I have this white cardstock piece here that's going to be the base for my easel card. It's cut to 8 1/4 inches long by 5 1/2 inches tall. I've then scored the piece at 4 inches and also 6 1/4 inches. Then I've just folded it on up, and this is going to be how the card looks when it's all like assembled. And I'm just going to be adding an additional white panel to the front, so that's where the slider element is going to go. So now that is all ready to go, I'm going to start stamping out and colouring into my images. So I just stamped down a ton of the images from the set, and I also stamped some additional trees onto a separate piece of paper, and now I'm going to colour them in with Copic markers. So I'm using RV19, RV25, RV13 and RV10 for the hot pink elements. I'm then using some blue violet colours for one of the popsicles and also some lights on one of the trees. I'm using BV08, BV04, BV02 and BV01. I'm now colouring in all of the trees. I'm using all of the same coloured greens for the trees just to keep it consistent and easy. I'm using YG17, YG23, YG03 and YG01. And as I said before, I do have another, I think 6 trees off to the side that I'm also colouring in the exact same way as well. Once I finish colouring in the trees, I do go ahead and use some yellows for the star and also some of the ornaments or lights on the other trees, and I also use some blue-green markers, so some aqua colours to colour in the snow cone and also the strap on the snow goggles. I then used some reds for the Christmas hat and also the love heart, and I used some browns for the sign and the bottom of the cone of the ice cream and the popsicle. I'm now using some skin tones to colour in the face and the hands and the horns of the Yeti, and then I'm using some warm grey Copic markers to colour in like the Yeti and also the sign and all of the other white elements as well. I'm just using W1, W0, W00 and the 0 marker to help blend that all together. And then to completely finish all of these images off, I decided to add some white gel pen details. I just really like the way that finishes off images lately. And it just looks super duper nice. So this is just a Sakura, I believe, jelly roll, and I'm just adding white details on with that. And then I went ahead and cut out all of the images, and now that they're all cut out, I'm going to set them off to the side and start working on the easel card. So I already made the base earlier just to make sure that all the measurements were correct, and they were, so now I can get started on the rest. So I have my easel card base here, and then I also cut an additional white piece of cardstock that just measured 3 1/4 inches tall by 5 1/2 inches wide. And the reason I wanted this a little bit taller than the front portion of the card is I wanted there to be a little bit of overhang so it seems like it's a snowy hill just like floating there. I thought that looked really cool, and so now I'm just laying out all of the images and the slider die on top just to make sure that I'm liking the way everything is looking and that it's all going to fit correctly, and it does. So I'm just pulling everything off, sending it off to the side, and then I'm going to run the slider die through that white panel just through a die cutting machine. Now I am covering up the top part of this card base, so when it lays flat like in the card, it's going to be a nice blue sky. So I decided to use some of the Snow Day Remix 6x6 paper, and I just cut this pattern paper piece to 2 1/4 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide and just adhered that onto the very top. Now it's time to assemble my slider. So I'm just using a 5-cent coin or any sort of coin will work here. And I just added some foam tape on it and my Yeti over the top, and then added 2 layers of foam tape behind the entire panel. And you can see here that the Yeti is going to slide and spin back and forth. Super duper cute. I love how that turned out. I then just went ahead and added adhesive onto the backs of all of the rest of the images. So all of the trees and like the presents and the snow cone and the popsicle, the little Santa hat for the top of the sign, which I also stamped Yeti Set Go on. I just thought that was really fitting and looked pretty good next to the little slider mechanism. So now that the front of the card is basically all completed, I needed to work on this little bottom section just so the card would stand upright. So I just took another piece of that same Snow Day Remix cardstock and adhered onto the inside of the card. And I also stamped and die cut the Be Merry sentiment as well and added foam tape onto the back and adhered that over the top. I've done this before with an easel card, but I just really love those Scripty sentiments there. I think they fit in really nicely, and it also holds that front panel in place as well. So that finishes up my card for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. This easel slider card is super easy and fun to create, and of course I love adding interactive elements onto my projects. I think they just make them so much more fun, and this Yeti was just too adorable not to put on a little slider. I just think it turned out really, really nice. So that finished up my card for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. All of the supplies that I used will be listed down below and over at the blog post, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks so much for stopping by today.